This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today is Mike Friedman, the head of IR for Zenova Group. Thank you very much for your time, Mike. How have you been? How's the summer been for you and the company?
Summer's flown by, and it's been an eventful summer for the company as well. And we're coming out of it with a positive message, I hope to partly at least convey today.
Well, we're going to, exactly. We'll touch on a few things. First of all, the finals there, of course, came out. That's the sales for the 6 months to the 31st of May 2024, 51,000. So down on last year's 108,000, but also down is, of course, the losses, 478,000 versus 709. So you've almost got two sort of, one kind of good and one kind of perhaps not so good angle there. But from your point of view, how are you feeling about these results now you've seen them?
I'm feeling good on balance. You helped me tremendously jumping into the reduction in losses. That is a reflection of tighter cost control on our part, and something we think we'll be able to talk more about going forward, and will continue to separate us from the competition a bit, who have higher cost models, which are going to prove very difficult to mitigate. On the sales, hands up, it was a poor number, and but one we're aware, and we hinted at in the results, is going to improve dramatically in H2. We always knew we were, and we very much are H2 weighted, and we're looking forward to adding to the announcements we've made already to demonstrate that why we conveyed a positive message, both on cash and generally on H2 trading and into 2025.
Okay, we say you're sort of looking to H2 and being more sort of weighted in H2 here. I mean, first of all, I think it was mentioned in the finals there that there was enough cash to cover all the commitments. I think at least until the rest of this year. So, I mean, how are you feeling on the cash position, but also confidence on H2 sales?
Well, I don't think we specified a time frame. These things are highly regulated in the language we're allowed to use, but we were very clear that we don't believe we need to raise money presently, and we continue on that. And from there, as a jumping off point, we're anxious to point out actual results as they come in, actual orders, as partly the reason you and I are getting together today.
Yeah.
The most recent RNS that we had out of Albania in announcing Kastrati, which is a big win for us generally as a customer, has come through in cooperation with our new distributor AES. We did not disclose the sterling value of the order. But it's sufficient in conjunction with the previous order we had announced from AES, which will also fall in H2, to already put us well above £100,000 from Albania alone. To date, we've got 3 more months in this half year.
Yeah, okay, so that will fall into the second half of this year, which will then be shown in the next announcement, whether that's the half yearlies or the finals. So, okay, I can see the finals, okay. So already you can see with just that one, that's already up, or double on at the moment. But of course, that's not just the only product or sales you've got going on. You, of course, had the OHEAP as well, didn't you? 1,500 for the FX 500s.
OHEAP is a dual benefit announcement, just like Kastrati in many ways, right? OHEAP is the distributor, but it is it's a big name in the space, in the fire prevention safety space in the UK. And so we don't know yet the final customers for the order that they've put in. But sharp-eyed readers will note that we said just before the final results, when we announced OHEAP, we were very clear that this is a strategic decision for them, and they were happy for us to put that wording into the RNS, by which they meant that it fills a recognized hole in their product suite. So increasingly our products are seen as strategic, and obviously that gives anyone either investing or looking to do business with us, puts them in mind of the fact that we're growing in importance in the marketplace. So OHEAP as I say, it's a major player. It has substantial revenues. It buys in inventory. It makes strategic decisions about its product suite. And we expect to partner with them more going forward. Okay. And the bookend now, Kastrati, though we know who the final customer is, Kastrati, they also represent a big player in the Balkan region. And I've said before, I think on previous interviews, that the Albanian construction market is not a small sandbox to play in. It's a major growth market. Albania has been consistently among the top 5 growth construction. Market growth in construction countries in the EU now for many years. It represents a huge part of their economy, and there is a lot of and varied potential in both Albania and the surrounding countries, Macedonia, Kosovo, and so on. So both wins are big for us, and shareholders should expect to hear more about them in the months and years to come.
Okay, good. Well, we'll touch on some of the other sort of irons in the fire in the moment. You mentioned about pointing out various wins, so we'll get a sense of hopefully what might be to come. But I did pick up a couple of things from the finals that I think some of the reasons for the numbers. I think one of them was weather related, which I understand is more about that customer being able to actually deploy that paint in real terms on the ground. But also you talked about certifications, but of course it's been quite a big year for Zenova with the Kite Mark, of course, the Forever Chemicals certification, and of course the marine use as well. So just on the certifications, does that sort of sort you out now? Are you pretty clear on all certifications to go forward?
Yeah, that's a major theme. I again, thank you, but that's a major theme I'd wanted to discuss briefly to get across to your listeners, one which we have articulated, but I'm sort of already, but I'm trying to bring it together and put it into stark relief to say that coming to the end of our certification process in Europe and the EN certification, completing our own suite of certifications into the middle of the first half of the year, as our followers will know, the Kite Mark in the UK coming even later than that. We've been pretty clear that was a major precursor to closing on orders that we've been working on for some time. And I would definitely cite the landing of OHEAP and Kastrati as evidence of that, and to provide some comfort to people, to listeners, that this can continue and accelerate because it fits the pattern we were expecting. So we expect that, and we're seeing improved serious inquiries resulting in larger preliminary orders, such as Kastrati's and OHEAP's. And that is partly a large part, but partly due to the finally getting our certification combination for Europe, which we believe is not only industry leading, but unique in the industry, where we have demonstrated certification over almost all known fire types, except exceptions like, as I've told you before, on lithium ion, where we don't have a standard to work to yet. But when we do, we expect to be able to accelerate that process and get certification in that key fire suppression area. It's also this increase in orders, interest, order size, and then orders and purchase orders is also a reflection of the success of our combination of strong distribution relationships and focusing on high-level demonstrations. And so, just a quick example. The Kastrati win. Kastrati was at our Albanian demo, and was highly impressed. We got all the feedback that is sometimes difficult to share with shareholders. That was a positive, and here they are putting in a substantial initial order. It's very gratifying, but it should also be very exciting for everyone for the second half of the year and beyond in terms of accelerating accelerating this process and the winning of new orders.
Okay, good. Well, I'll talk about that at the moment. Just before we get on to some of the other, as I say, irons in the fire here, can you make a comment at all on, of course, that the larger order, that 2.4 million, which I think was worth about 100,000 a month to you? That's, of course, with Gracewood, drips and sparks. But there's been a bit of online speculation about that. I know you're aware of that, but I don't know if you can make a comment on how things are going on that front.
I can comment, and I'm sorry, you did give me a prompt, and I didn't follow up. I wasn't avoiding the question. That is the reference we made to weather delays. There had been miserable and very difficult for Gracewood to get underway. We have been in constant contact with both Drips and Sparks and Gracewood, and I have been encouraged to report that the response has been positive, and we believe they will get underway in the weeks to come, at which point, obviously, we will update the market. But that very substantial order, which is worth the potential of just under 2.5 million quid over 3 years, certainly still very live, and the interest remains significant.
Okay, good. Well, if we can just think a little bit about perhaps, yes, I say irons in the fire or what's to come. Of course, I know you were involved with the NHS. You were getting involved with Sheffield University. You also announced expanding into different regions such as Latin America, Spain, India, and of course, Romania there. But I mean, you mentioned earlier about the demos were really important to you, and you want to point out regular wins. So, I mean, is the plan for the company to do more demos, do more partnerships, and announce wins as and when they come in?
Well, we've engaged in demonstrations now in a significant number of different jurisdictions, and we are focused on closing, more focused than ever on closing sales. I don't know what the next demo, let's say, in the hopper may be. There's a general feeling I get that we've done our work there. It's paying off, and now we want to close on that improved interest where it's combined with our increased certification. In terms of what to look forward to the extent that I can comment, the Sheffield University remains extremely active. We're very hopeful for something near term there. There's been some discussion about the difficulties of the UK university system due to Brexit and other factors, the economy and so on. We're not seeing that. We're very engaged with the customer, and we're just as excited about the prospect there as we've ever been. We are close. The level of inquiry is of a different order at the moment. So, we're more focused on closing than ever before, as opposed to opening up new opportunities. I would direct thinking towards the continent, where we've had some success in establishing some early orders. One of those is probably close to the top in terms of near-term probabilities of a larger follow-on order. We're quite excited about that. There are some things we have not discussed at all, either via RNS or through these interviews, which are also top of mind. The NHS is a slow burn, but we are the main message I've got is as much or more than any customer we talk to, the feedback we get is we are best in breed. So we remain very hopeful with the NHS, but it is a slow burn. It's the country's largest institution, and it acts like it, unfortunately.
Sure. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Mike, for that update. So I'm hoping we can, as you're going into H2, you say you're going to be more heavily weighted. I expect to be doing a few interviews with you on contract wins. But for now, thank you for your time.
You stole my my departing line. Thanks. Thanks. We'll see you soon.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.